Welcome to the third lesson. In this lesson, we'll talk about the challenges that you as a Jira administrator face around copying changes from sandbox to production, as well as making sure your sandbox is up to date with production. Since deploying new workflows and automations and other complex configurations into production without testing is extremely risky, Jira offers an isolated sandbox environment to test out these new configurations before they go live. But there's no quick and easy way to copy these changes either from sandbox to production or from production back to sandbox. So in this lesson, we're going to show how to move a configuration, specifically a workflow, from sandbox to production with Salto, and how you can use Salto to compare these two environments to know exactly what needs to be moved. I'm in my Salto account, and now I'm ready to begin a deployment. I've come to the Compare and Deploy section, and let's go ahead and click on Compare and Deploy. Salto is going to prompt you to ask for the source environment and the target environment. The source environment being my sandbox environment, production environment being the target, and I'm going to go ahead and create a title and start the deployment process. Salto is going to immediately show you all the differences between these two environments. This represents all the changes, the diff in between these two environments, and I can really understand what all needs to be moved from my sandbox environment to my production environment. I can filter, for example, show me only the differences between workflows, and then I can also specify the type of change, in this case, additions. So these are all of my workflows that exist only in Sandbox that need to be moved to production. So here is the workflow that I want to move over, the update team workflow. With Salto, you can click, and that's going to add that to the list of elements to deploy. And as soon as you add that to the deployment list, Salto is going to flag any required dependencies, that being any of its dependencies that don't yet exist in the target environment. If I see here, I can see the on hold status. Let me go ahead and click here. And looks like we need to add that to the target environment. So I will go ahead and add this. And I can see here that I've got everything required, the on hold status and the workflow. And I can go ahead and move forward with the deployment process. To move forward, I can click the preview deployment button. This is going to generate a deployment preview to queue up the elements that I've selected for deployment. After the deployment preview finishes, you'll see a list of all the elements that you've selected for deployment, the type of change. If you did run into any issues, they would pop up here. And we can go ahead and continue the deployment process. So I'm going to go ahead and click deploy and push, and these are going to push those changes into my target environment, which is my production environment. Now that my deployment is completed, I can see exactly which elements deployed. In this case, I added the status and I also added that workflow. If I was doing a modification of elements, I could see a side by side. And now I'm good to go ahead and start documenting that process. So in the next lesson, we'll discuss how you can use Salto to document and monitor the entire change management process so that all changes to your production instance are clearly understood and recorded. I'll see you in the next lesson.